Puberty is embarrassing for anyone, but I'm about to tell you a story that will blow your mind. While most people have to worry about body hair or smelling badly, I needed to worry about turning into a boy. I lost my friends, my confidence, and my cat. That's right, I have a very rare medical condition that made my first kiss one of the worst moments of my life. I decided to share my life with My Story Animated to get some awareness out there. Before we get into that though, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Personally, I was never nervous about my boyfriend leaving me. I mean, I was young, and things were a lot less complicated back then. I was incredibly pretty. I was smart, funny, and popular among everyone. I was always the center of attention from the boys in class. Even the girls were obsessed with me. They all tried super hard to be my friend, and even seemed to copy me. They copied my style and the way I talked. Those girls would have done anything to be me, but I don't think they would be so desperate to be me right now. See, I was just a normal girl. I wore dresses and had soft skin. I was just a little bit on the skinny side. When all of my other friends got their periods and started to grow into womanly figures, I just thought I was a late bloomer. My lack of womanhood still didn't stop me from dating though. When I was 13, I met my first boyfriend. We were both freshmen in high school, and we're pretty popular. He was attractive, athletic, and super nice. Or at least so I thought. See, everything changed after our first kiss. There are lots of people with embarrassing first kiss stories. My kiss landed me in the hospital. I remember it just like it was yesterday. It was supposed to be perfect. We went on a long date to a park, and it was super romantic. We spent the whole day in the park talking about our lives and dreams. That's when he said it. "I love you, Miranda. You are the prettiest girl in the world." That was it. I decided to lean in and kiss him. That was mistake number one. I started to feel all tingly. At first, I thought this was fireworks of passion for my first kiss, but it only took seconds for the spark to become painful. Derek, I asked nervously, "what did you eat for lunch?" To my horror, he had a peanut butter sandwich. He knew I was allergic but didn't expect me to try to kiss him. I was itchy all over and everything felt like it was on fire. My eyes swelled up so bad that I couldn't even see, which was probably for the better because I did not want to see Derek's face in that moment. He sounded more disgusted than concerned, but I can't really blame him because I must have looked like a melted stick of gum in a dress. He called the hospital and I had to be taken away in an ambulance. I was used to getting a lot of attention, but this kind of stuff was embarrassing. Although I couldn't see, Derek kept telling me how people were pointing and watching the incident unfold. In the end, he decided to make me go to the hospital myself because he would just get in the way. Probably for the better anyway, because I got some pretty alarming news there. Like the kind of news where my life was never going to be the same ever again. First off, my allergic reaction was pretty bad. I needed to stay in the hospital overnight and get some tests. I thought that nothing could get worse with having my first kiss ruined and the humiliation of having my serious boyfriend leaving me alone in the hospital. See, these tests were going to do more than help me with my allergic reaction. They were going to change my life, whether I wanted them to or not. I was sitting in bed, hanging out with my parents, when a doctor came into the room. She looked a little concerned and asked me a bit about myself. She wanted to know if I had a period before or noticed any unusual changes in my body, but I said no. She got a very stern look on her face and asked to talk to my parents alone. I started imagining what they could be talking about. Was I dying? Was I majorly sick? I'm also a bit embarrassed to admit, I thought I might have gotten pregnant from the kiss. After a few minutes, my questions were about to be answered. Not in the way anyone could have expected. My mom and dad came in with a doctor. It was very apparent that my mother had been crying very hard. The words that came out of the doctor's mouth almost made me faint. "Miranda, it's difficult to tell you this, but you're actually a boy." A boy? I explained to the doctor how that just couldn't be right. I looked, acted, and felt like a girl. It was right on my birth certificate. How was this even possible? Well, I can give you a bit of a biology lesson. See, our genetic makeup is dictated by these little things called chromosomes. Most people have two sex chromosomes that determine whether they are born a boy or a girl. A biological girl has two X's, and a boy has an X and a Y. These little particles tell the body whether to make parts for a boy or girl while the baby is still inside their mother. Think of it like a button. The Y particle is able to turn on male traits to develop. Unfortunately for me, my Y button was broken. The thing is, I had a missing chemical in my body that confused my Y chromosome. Because of it, I ended up developing like an average girl. The doctors mistook me for a girl at birth, and they never had any reason to doubt it. It's all pretty interesting when it's not your life. I insisted on taking another test, but the doctor said there was no point. On a better note, she could start me on a dosage of hormones if I wanted to maintain my feminine appearance. I didn't know whether to cry, or scream, or throw up. The world was spinning and I just wanted to forget about it. Besides, I knew in my heart I was a real girl. I refused the medication, even though she warned me that I might start looking like a guy. But I just couldn't believe it. I felt like a freak, like my whole life was a lie. I just wanted to go home and have the whole nightmare be over. Sadly, it was only just beginning. I decided to keep my discovery a secret from my friends and boyfriend. I wasn't sure how they would respond to it at all. Plus, they didn't have to know in my eyes. Little did I know that I was about to get a rude awakening. Or should I say, a few episodes of rude awakenings that got worse and worse as time went on. You're gonna want to stick around for the last one because you would not believe it. The first real sign I was going through puberty was body hair. I didn't just get hair on my armpits and legs though. I started growing facial hair. I swear I would wake up every morning with a 5 o'clock shadow. This at least was easy to hide. I shaved my face in private every day and kept telling my family it was okay. But I really wasn't okay. I was moody and upset and super embarrassed. My parents tried to be understanding and kind, but they were being fed up with my behavior. Being in a bad mood was about to cost me a lot more than I expected. One day, I was shaving my face in the dark when my mom knocked on the door. I cut myself up pretty bad and screamed. I quickly hid the razor, and when they came in, they just saw a scratch on my face and blood. My mom screamed and my whole family rushed in. They asked what had happened, and I didn't know what I was supposed to say. I couldn't tell them that their precious daughter was growing a beard. Instead, I did something I would regret for the rest of my life. I blamed my cat. I pointed right at my innocent feline and said that he had scratched me right in the face without warning. I knew my father was angry, but I didn't know how angry he was. When I came home that night after school, I got the shock of my life. My dad got rid of my cat because he was acting so aggressively. They thought they were doing the right thing. I just cried. When I thought things couldn't get any worse, something strange happened when I shouted. My voice cracked, just like a guy's. I thought it was a one-time deal, but when I woke up the next morning, my voice was still pitchy and horrible. A drop in my voice was exactly what the doctor said I should expect when the testosterone rushed in. My mom started to panic and asked if everything was okay, and I just told her I had a cold. She said I could stay home from school, but I didn't want to be stuck here all day. This was easily another one of my many big mistakes. See, the reason I wanted to go to school so badly was because it was gym day. I know a lot of people don't enjoy PE class, but it was my favorite. I was sporty and athletic. Gym class was just another moment for me to shine and be the center of attention. I was about to get a lot more than I asked for, though. Stay seated, folks, because I'm about to tell you about the biggest shock of my life. Even after all these years, I can't think of anything else more embarrassing than this. See, during class, it was all fine. I, of course, was doing the best. Something about being stressed out inspired me to do better than I ever had. I could tell that some of the other girls were getting jealous of me as the boys started to compliment my skills and my body. Those girls didn't have to worry, though, because they were about to get the last laugh. After gym class, we all went to the locker rooms to change and shower. I was never insecure, but today, I should have been. I felt something weird in my shorts that wasn't there before, and when I pulled them down to get ready to shower, I noticed that I had grown hair all over my chest, like a man. I hadn't been paying attention, and I thought I looked okay. But looking in the mirror, I had very different thoughts. This was not normal. I immediately slammed on my towel and tried to come up with a plan to avoid the shower. I wanted to act cool and make an excuse to go to the nurse's office. I was just going to tell my classmates I felt nauseous all of a sudden and needed to leave. When I walked into the shower area, things did not go according to plan. I slipped on wet floor tile and crashed into the floor. All eyes were on me in shock, but not because of the fall. See, when I slipped, I dropped the towel and exposed myself to all of them. After the initial shock, their reactions were mixed. Some remained super concerned and confused. Many of them actually pointed and laughed at me. I quickly ran out, threw clothes on, and called my mom to pick me up because I was too sick after all. I wondered if my classmates would reveal my secret. Let's just say I got an answer really quickly. Within minutes of leaving, my phone started to blow up with lots of texts. There were a few of them from girls asking if I was okay, but many of them were mean. When I saw I had a missed message from Derek, I just shut off my phone. I was not ready to confront whatever happened. For the next few days, I decided to stay home, but I knew I couldn't do it forever. I went to school that Friday with my head held high. I was about to be knocked down a peg. See, someone spray painted Mermanda on my locker, and everyone stared and giggled when they walked by. Someone even stopped me from going to the girls' bathroom. For the rest of the day, I just went to class and hid during any of my free time. I couldn't stay hiding forever though. Derek passed me a note during class. I couldn't ignore him now. You know, there are 4 words that strike fear more than anything in a relationship. We need to talk. That's all the note said, but I wasn't in the position to argue. We met after class and he confronted me. I spilled the beans. All of my secrets from the past year came gushing out. The hormones, my condition, the weird changes I was going through. I expected him to dump me right there, but nothing could have prepared me for what came next. He told me that he still loved me. He decided to open up to me and told me how he was actually bisexual and had no problem with my condition. In fact, he thought it was hot how I was the best of both worlds. I couldn't help but blush. For the first time since the moments before our first kiss, I felt pretty again. Derek was more supportive than he ever had been in his life, and he encouraged me to do what I wanted to do. I went home and told my parents that night about all the changes my body was going through. When they asked if I wanted hormones, I told them no. I just wanted to be me. Unfortunately, they did not like my answer. They told me that I needed to choose now before things got complicated. Are you a boy or a girl? It was such a tough question that was difficult to answer at the moment. My whole life, I felt like a girl. But now I was starting to experience manhood. When I explained I was confused, they threw me out of the house. They told me to come back when I stopped acting like a child. I was really hurt at first, but I wasn't alone. When Derek told his parents he was bisexual, they threw him out too. We ended up moving in together in his aunt's house. She was super supportive and the best parent I ever had. She also helped me embrace myself. Just because I was growing facial hair didn't mean I had to stop wearing dresses and lipstick. I decided to grow out my beard and continue to dress feminine. I got a lot of stares and harassment at first, but with Derek by my side, I could accomplish anything. Now that I'm an adult, I need to be a little more conscious of my appearance. I decided to go with a feminine look for now, but I hope with time, I will be comfortable enough in my new job to sport my beard again. Who says girls can't rock a beard? I hope you keep my story in mind the next time you go to make fun of someone's appearance. There are probably more things going on than you can ever understand. I'd really love it if you commented your own stories below so I can read about how my story helped you.